But in humility, I think I'm learning some. And I can encourage you, if the cry of your heart is, yes, I want more, but how? Number one, embrace this truth. I said it last week, I'm going to say it again, and I hope that God will prompt me to say this over and over and over again for the weeks and months and years to come. What God wants from you, more than anything else, what God expects from you, more than anything else in your life, is not your obedience, but His relationship with you. You want the door to open and go and experience God? Guess what? Good news. He does too. More than anything else from you, that's what He wants. And you see, does He want your obedience? Does He expect your obedience? Yes, but He wants obedience and loyalty and fidelity that flow from relationship. He wants to know you and me. What a beautiful thing. Second, you want a deeper experience with God, and take account of what you've already experienced of and with God. We've each experienced more than we realize, and more than we really take the time to remember, that we've really experienced of and with God. We open our eyes, we see that we stand on terra firma, firm ground, earth. We learn that God created this earth. And not arbitrarily, not just as a silly experiment. That God created this earth. And one of the primary reasons that He did that is because that as He examined His own relationship with Himself in the context of the Trinity, He thought of us. And so He built this earth as this grand, as I said before, like this dance floor. To put us on so that we could enter into the dance with God. Is that cool? I mean, you ever driving down the road here and realize just how beautiful things are? We are really a primary reason that this earth exists. He put it here for us to enjoy Him. That He gave you life. We owe every day, with every breath that we take, our very life to the God who gave it to us. You know what? And not just that, as if that weren't good enough, but there's something special about the life that we possess that's different than any other created being that ever was and that ever will be. That we were created by God in His very image. He made us as the crowning jewel of His creation, His image bearers. Every day, every moment, it's a reminder us of our experience with God, of His interaction with us. We talk about the story of Genesis 3, with the fall of mankind. When Adam and Eve sinned, and we learned that that caused a break in the relationship between God and created man and woman. From Genesis 3 to the end of Revelation, after the first 2 chapters of the Bible start, the rest of the Bible is about God's pursuit of reconciliation with us. That's relationship. That's experience. That shows us something about the way and the extent to which God wants to know us. That after this breach in this relationship, He spends the rest of biblical history, and in fact, it spends every day in history from then until now, pursuing reconciliation with His created people. He sent His Son to die for them, so that we could experience relationship with Him. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. You want to experience God? Remember, understand what He's already done for you. He died for you as an act of relationship. Great. That is great. But you may say, join me in saying, I want more. I want more. I believe there's more to this life than what I'm experiencing. I believe there must be more of an experience of God than I'm having. Because you know what? I agree with everything you've just said, but the fact still remains. It sure feels like most of what I know about God is about God. And most of my experience isn't an experience with God. It's just an experience with Christianity and religion and the stuff about God. I want to know more about God. And I say, me too. And for the pages of God's Holy Bible, he screams out over and over and over again the beginning of his answer to us in that regard. He says, seek me. Do you want relationship with me? You want this to be more real? You want this to feel more like a real relationship? Seek me. Come. And you, my son Solomon, says David in 1 Chronicles, acknowledge the God of your father and serve him with wholehearted devotion and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches every heart and understands every motive behind the thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found by you. Go seek God. You want to find him, you want to experience, go. Seek him. In the 8th Psalm, I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. In Matthew 7:7, Jesus says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds. And to him who knocks, the door will be opened. Seek me. In Hebrews chapter 11, and without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. Aha. And here it is. That he rewards those who earnestly seek him. You want God to open the door? You want that door to open so that you can enter into a deeper relationship and experience of and with God? Answer this. Answer the question I believe God puts to each and every one of us this morning in a sincere, deliberate, determined way, wanting to know, already knowing our answers. He asks us, are you seeking me? Are you seeking me? And just as quick, he says, now be careful. Before you jump to say yes, know what I'm not asking. I didn't ask you, are you seeking my blessings? I didn't ask you, are you seeking something from me? Are you seeking me? Are you seeking a relationship with God? Or are you seeking God for something else? Are you seeking God, really seeking a better life? More blessings, more happiness now? He knows the difference. You know, we think that we're clever at fooling God. When what we're doing is, we're approaching God, really, so many of us, so much of the time. What we really are doing is we're approaching God, sort of saying, God, I'm into you. I dig you. Help me with this. God, would you cooperate with my plan for my life? And we get mad when he doesn't. Because then we convince ourselves that's what he's there for. He's there to cooperate with my plans and my expectations for the better life now, for the best life now. If I'm not wealthy and healthy, then there's a problem with God. He's not doing his job. He says, that's not seeking me. I'm asking for you seeking me, not these supposed blessings. The door that we're talking about is not God's door. And the lock is not on the inside.